Hey everyone, this is Jordan from Sleeklens.com, and in this video I'm going to talk about my 5 favorite tips and tricks when it comes to Lightroom. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one I'm going to talk about is performance. So let's go ahead and go up here to Lightroom and then Preferences, and then we're going to go to the Performance tab. Most people keep this Use Graphics Processor, they keep it enabled. Now if you have an older machine or a slightly older machine, basically a machine that doesn't have a very good graphics processor, Lightroom might run a little slower, and so if you disable this, it's not going to use your graphic processor at all. It's going to just mainly use your CPU on your computer to do all the processing and stuff like that. It's a very, very good thing to have if you have a really good graphics processor. If you don't, you might want to go ahead and check that and uncheck it, and so that way it'll run a little faster. Once I unchecked this on my computer ran very, very fast, way faster than it did with it checked. Another thing you can do is go over to File Handling, and you can change your maximum cache to 25. I believe mine, when I first had it on there, I don't know why it was set this low, but it was set to 3. And so once I bumped it up to 25 gigs, just make sure you have enough space on your computer. I bumped it up to 25 gigs, and I've had no problem with caches. Well, you can also purge if you want to. Go ahead and get rid of all the old cache files out there, and you should be good to go. So the next one I'm going to talk about is Lights Out. Lights Out is a fun little feature that you have in Lightroom. So let's say I have this photo and I'm just editing it around, and I just want to highlight this photo just to show the photo only. If you click the L key on your keyboard, you're going to dim the lights of your screen, as you can see here. Everything is dimmed out. I can still play with it on the the editing part of it, but everything else is dimmed out. If I click it one more time, it's going to black out the screen, turn the lights off, and you can just concentrate on the image itself. If I click it one more time, it turns everything back on, and we're ready to go. Number 3 is what I call removing widgets. So as you can see, we have Library, Develop, Map, Book, Slideshow, Print, and Web. Some of these I don't even ever go into, so why keep them up there? So one way to get rid of them is to right-click near them, and then you get the little menu here, and you can take off the ones you don't use. So I'm going to take off Web, go back in there, right-click, Print, Slideshow, and Book. So now these are the ones that I mainly use, and I don't have to worry about having other items up here. All right, the next one I'm going to talk about is exporting presets. Exporting presets are really great if you do a lot of exporting of the same types of file. So I'm going to go up here to File, Export. So this is the file export box that we are all familiar with, and so I can go in here and I can change the width here. I can go to 1920 by 1080. I'm just making up some stuff here. Change my resolution to 400. Make sure my watermark is checked on. All that fun stuff. And now I can click Add, and I get this other small box, and I can put my preset name. So I'm just going to use Test, and I'm going to put it in my User Presets folder and click Create. Now you can see I have a test one here. So if I want to export a whole bunch of files and use these exact same settings, all I got to do is open up the box, click Test, and click Export, and they're all going to export exactly where I want them to with the same settings. All right, the next and final tips and tricks that I have for you is editing using your histogram. A lot of people don't know that you can actually do that. You have your histogram up here, and as you move across it, you can see you have columns that appear. So we have blacks, shadows, exposure, highlights, and whites. So what you can do is, if you know that you want to change your exposure a little bit, you can just slide it, click and slide, and it'll change your exposure, and you can see it's reflecting it down here. If you know your shadows need to be bumped up a little bit, you can take it over there where the shadows are and bump those up, and you can see the histogram moving, and you can also see it moving down here. This is just a visual way to do this as well. So you can take your highlights, I can back my highlights up, and then take my blacks, I can crunch down the blacks a little bit just to make it more contrasty. And there we go. I just edited that photo only using my histogram, not using any of the sliders, and it's just a really cool effect to do that with. So there you go, guys. Those are my 5 tips and tricks when it comes to Lightroom. They are very helpful. There's a tons more, but these are the ones that I normally use day to day. So head on over to Sleeklens.com for more information about everything photography. And this is Jordan from Sleeklens.com, and I'll see you in the next video.